Good afternoon and welcome into Bourgade Catholic High School in North Phoenix as we continue Sunday afternoon coverage of the Arizona Club Basketball League presented by Real Recruits. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Steven Cusimano as we've got our fourth matchup today featuring the Factory and the Salt Lake Rebels. Earlier today we had Nevada Hard to Guard defeating Prime 16. Salt Lake Rebels winning over the AZ Wild 76-44. And now they'll face the undefeated 4-0 Factory, led by head coach Kenny Mullins. Salt Lake Rebels led by head coach Everett Gray. As we're ready to go here for basketball between two of the powerhouses in the Arizona Club Basketball League. Emmanuel Taban right off the bat misses the first shot of the game. And it'll stay with Salt Lake. Here's Phil Harris to bring it up. Played a lot of minutes in the earlier game for Salt Lake, and they won 76-44. Harris down the far sideline. Gives it off. Here's Miles Youngblood, who led the way with 19 points in that first game for Salt Lake. Under the rim, fighting for the basketball. It's ripped down finally by Curtis Nichols for the Factory. Here's Sunday John driving in, and he gets fouled on his way there. Call Youngblood for the foul. First of the game, 58 seconds into this one. Demarion Williams to get it in. And call a travel immediately on Curtis Nichols as soon as he got the ball. So here's Trace Ross. Up court now to Youngblood on the far sideline. Youngblood to his right, tightly guarded by Nichols. Now here's Harris. Youngblood drives in, has it poked away, picks it back up. An entry pass to Bauer, who puts it through for the first points of the contest. Salt Lake up by a pair. Here's Demarion Williams to his right, double teamed now, a bounce pass over to his right. Dominic Gonzalez, three-point shot off the back iron, no good. And Salt Lake with the ball once again. Here's Bauer on the far corner, and a reaching foul called on Sunday John. First foul committed by the Factory to match the one from Salt Lake. They get it inbounds to Lino Saez, who misses a couple shots. So the Rebels unable to convert. Here on the other end, we've got Demarion Williams, a fading jump shot that falls out. And just as that happened, Phil Harris is called for a foul. They inbounded immediately to Curtis Nichols, who can't make the putback shot. So it's Rebel ball once again. Missed opportunities early on in this one on both sides. Ball stays with Salt Lake. Miles Youngblood gets it into Bauer. Bauer spinning, shooting under the rim, puts it home. He's got all the points in this one. Luke Bauer, the junior forward, has the Rebels up 4-0. Now on the other end, Sunday John with a corner three-point shot. That's no good. Salt Lake basketball. Phil Harris gets the inbound pass, drives it right to the opposing free throw line. Here's Miles Youngblood driving down the baseline, kicks it out for Harris. His three-point shot is good. Phil Harris with the three-point shot to put the Rebels up 7-0. Factory trying to get something going here. Demarion Williams with the ball as they still look for their first points. Emmanuel Taban, one of the star players, nails a three-pointer, and Factory is on the board. Trace Ross gives it off to Youngblood. Harris once again now in the corner for Bowers, and his three-point shot rattles out. Factory ball as they try to convert once again. Dominic Gonzalez to bring it up the court. Ironwood High School's faithful. Taban misses that three-point shot, rebounded by Harris. Harris sends it up court for Bauer. Bauer, an easy layup off the glass. A nice attempt to block it by Curtis Nichols, but Luke Bauer's now got 6 points. Factory back on the board for Luke Nichols, Curtis Nichols. Here's Phil Harris. Youngblood, step back shot is good. He's got 2 after Youngblood had 19 in the first game earlier today for Salt Lake. Nichols has his pass poked away. Bounce pass up court to Trace is blocked. Trace Ross, that is. Ross got fouled on the play. Makes the first shot to put the Rebels up by 7 now. Couple newcomers into the game. Xavier Lino checks in. Emmanuel Taban out. Both shots through for Ross, who's on the board with his first points of the contest. So here's Zeke Tompkins, another one of the newcomers into the game. Now John on the far sideline, drives to his left, gives it off to Williams, heaving it across the court for Tompkins, who drives down the baseline and has his shot blocked, and he ended up being fouled. Tompkins looking for his first points of the game. Senior guard, 6'6" from Apollo High School. Nails the second one, and he's on the board. Here's Ross to bring it up. Ross to his right. Stops in an entry pass over to Lino Saez. Ball's poked away. Harris ends up with it. Heaves it into the near corner, and it's poked away, retained by the Factory. Demarion Williams up in the air, grabbing for it. Nice attempt, but it's going to stay with Salt Lake as Chuol Deng checks into the game for Lino Saez. Latrell Swan also checks in, replacing Sunday John. That on the Factory side. There's Phil Harris driving the left side, lost the handles nearly, but gets it back inbounds to Ross. Ross on the left wing, dumps it back off for Harris. Youngblood over to Deng, a three-point shot, puts it through. Chuol Deng, who made 4 three-pointers in the first game earlier today for Salt Lake, nails another. Deng had 14 earlier today, and he's on the board with a triplet to start this one. Salt Lake up by 10 early on. Trey Sims to check in for Salt Lake now. Phil Harris removed from the game. Zeke Tompkins checks the pass in to Xavier Lino. Garcia with it at the right wing. Passed off to his right, and Lino can't make the three-point shot. It's retained by Trace Ross. Ross up the court to Deng. Another three-point shot, that one too strong. And it's batted back in bounds. Picked up by Zeke Tompkins. Up court to Garcia, an open three-point shot, rattling around, no good. Ripped down by Miles Youngblood. A fast pace being set in this one. Youngblood drives the lane, makes contact, couldn't make the shot, but he'll head to the line for two. Miles Youngblood led all scorers in the earlier game between Salt Lake. Had 19 points, including 4 three-pointers. Gets the first one to go. And the second one. So here's Zeke Tompkins, 6'6" senior guard, whose brother plays at Boston College right now. Now over to Xavier Lino. His three-point shot is nailed as well. And he's on the board for Factory. Chuol Deng slamming it home on the other end. We saw a whole lot of that in the last game that Salt Lake played as well. So Deng already with 5 points. Now on the other end, Tompkins knocked down on his way to the rim, no foul called. Rebound picked up by Deng. Couple substitutions. Mateus Minnick checks in, as well as Isaiah Adams for Salt Lake. Pass, though, is inbounded by the Factory, and Emmanuel Taban puts through his second shot. He's up to 5 on the day. Now on the other end, Trey Sims trying to get something cooking. Emmanuel Taban called for his first foul of the game. 6 fouls now committed by the Factory, make it 7 in fact, so one more would put the Rebels in the bonus. They call Sims for a travel. So it'll be Factory basketball if they continue to claw their way back into this game, less than halfway through the first half. 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in this first half as one of the stars on the team, Demarion Williams, brings it up. Now a corner three-point shot from Xavier Lino. He converts his second from downtown already today. Now up to 6 points. Full court press is on by the Factory here, trying to disrupt the rhythm of Salt Lake. And Mateus Minnick puts forth his first points of the day. Now the 6'5" senior guard from Westview, Demarion Williams, gets it off to Taban. His shot no good. And Harris comes up with it. Phil Harris on the other end gives it off to Deng. His third three-point attempt of the game is no good and ripped down by Xavier Lino. Lino at the left wing had his pass poked away. Was looking for Emmanuel Taban. Colin Cooper checks into the game now. Chuol Deng removed. Taban gives it off to Williams, driving the lane. Finger roll is good. Demarion Williams with his first points of the contest. And here come the Rebels on the other end. Minnick breaks loose, nearly lost the handles, gets it back out to Harris, but first it rolls out of bounds. Factory ball is now they trail by only 6. Was as much as a 10-point lead Three-point shot, no good. That was Dominic Gonzalez. Rebound by Isaiah Adams. There's Harris on the other end driving the baseline. Finger roll tipped up in the air and no good. Up court heave to Emmanuel Taban with clean air. He slams it home. Emmanuel Taban, the 6'8" junior guard from Apollo High School, showing what he's got here at Bourgade Catholic High School. Up to 7 points now, and on the other end, couple more for the Rebels, who are going to give it back off to the factory. Here's Demarion Williams, crossing to the right side. Sims guarding him. Now he breaks through the defense, lays it off the glass. Demarion Williams turning on the Jets here. And after that brilliant run by the factory, a timeout is called by the Salt Lake Rebels head coach, Everett Bray. His team led by as much as 10, but the factory storming back with nice shots from Demarion Williams and Emmanuel Taban. So it's 22-20, 6 minutes and 19 seconds left in the first half. You're watching this game on the ACBL network, presented by Real Recruits. (22-20), Salt Lake Rebels lead the factory 22-20, but factory storming back from what was a double-digit deficit just 2 minutes ago, 2 game minutes ago. Rebels have the ball, though. Here's Phil Harris. Across the court to Ross. Trace Ross to his left for Trey Sims. A long three-point shot off the front of the rim is no good. Rebound being fought for. It's finally picked up by Colin Cooper, and then ripped loose by Emmanuel Taban. Up court to Dominic Garcia off the glass, and the game is tied. Sims across the court to Harris. Bounce pass to his left. Trace Ross has played just about every minute of this game for Salt Lake. Tightly guarded now. Gets it away to Harris, who picks up his dribble. Bounce pass to Cooper, poked away, and the ball rolls out of bounds. Excellent pressure by the factory, and Xavier Lino on the coverage. Trey Sims and Colin Cooper check out of the game. Here's Trace Ross. Layoff attempt no good. Emmanuel Taban trying to track it down there, slam the glass. The foul called, so Ross will be at the line again. Sunday John and Xavier Lino leave the game.
No, we're ahead of one.
Should only be 7.
Ross makes one of the 2 free throws. He's up to 3 points now. It was Curtis Nichols and Zeke Tompkins who checked in. Here's Demarion Williams to bring it up. Williams on the left side. Now trying to break loose. Kicks out a corner 3-point shot for Dom Gonzalez, who converts. Gonzalez nails his first shot of the game. Here's Phil Harris on the right side. to Ross. Now Saez driving the lane, puts up a shot off the glass, and it's good. Each team trading blows. 25-25 with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the half. Marion Williams driving down the right side got fouled. Foul charge to Lino Saez. Williams drives the baseline, kicks it out for Taban. Thought about taking a three, instead passes it off to Williams to his left, driving the baseline now. Bounce pass to Nichols. Nice ball movement by the Factory to go up by 2. Here's Phil Harris off to his right for Youngblood on the right wing. Now back over to Harris. Youngblood at the right wing. He takes the three-point shot this time and converts. Make it 7 points for Miles Youngblood now. As Westview's own Demarion Williams brings it up. To his right finds Emmanuel Taban. Three-point shot off the front of the rim, no good. Trace Ross comes up with it. Taban pokes it away and it rolls out of bounds on the Factory. Ross taken out of the game. And Mateus Minnick checks in. Minnick gets the ball immediately from Phil Harris. Rebels lead by 1, 28-27. Now under the rim, Luke Bauer traveled. Almost converted the shot, but pivoted one step too many. .320 left now in the first half. It's been a very competitive contest between these two teams. Two of the teams that are considered the class of the Arizona Club Basketball League. Here's Sunday John. Dumps off a pass for Dominic Gonzalez. Gonzalez spinning near the baseline. Gives it off for Nichols. Nichols a right-handed dribble. Steps back, has it poked away, but picks it back up. Sunday John ends up with it. Ball rolling nearly out of bounds, but it's picked up by Lino Saez. Salt Lake basketball. Here's Phil Harris. Gets it up to Minnick. Up to Saez. Open three-point shot off the back iron, no good. Pulled down by Bauer. Kicks it out for Youngblood. Driving the baseline. Youngblood couldn't get it to roll. Rebound still being fought for and finally picked up by Curtis Nichols. Here's Sunday John driving the lane. Gets knocked down, so he's fouled. It's the 7th foul committed by Salt Lake to match the 7 committed by the Factory. So the next foul for each team would put the opposition in the bonus. It's 8 fouls to put the team in the bonus in the ACBL. Open three-point shot for Xavier Lino, no good. Here's Lino Saez on the other end, up court to Luke Bowers. And before he was able to make that shot, they call another travel. So Bowers taken out of the game. Chuol Deng enters. Deng's got 8 in this one so far. Excuse me, 5 in this one. Sunday John, near the midcourt logo, breaks for his left, now kicks it out into the corner. Gonzalez kicks it out. Another three-point shot for Xavier Lino, who's been knocking him down all afternoon. 9 points, all of them coming off three-pointers for Lino. Here's Miles Youngblood on the other end, driving right down the lane, has his dribble poked away, and it comes off of the Rebels. So Factory basketball, they lead by 2. It was a sluggish start for the Factory. They were down by 10 early on, came storming back, and now are playing with great energy. Under the rim, Curtis Nichols just barely sees that one roll out. Chuol Deng wraps that one down. Here's Phil Harris. Stops, pops from the free throw line and puts it through. Phil Harris up to 5 points on the afternoon. 30 all with a minute and counting left in this first half. Here's Dominic Gonzalez. Passed off to his right. Lino with a heat check there, couldn't convert. Rebound picked up by Phil Harris, exchanges a volley with Chuol Deng. Harris stays with it. Tried to throw one up to Lino Saez, who got fouled. Couldn't finish off the conversion, but he'll head to the line for two. Foul called on Curtis Nichols. That was a shooting foul anyway, but it'll put Salt Lake in the bonus. It's two 16-minute halves in the ACBL. Saez makes the first shot. .3 left in this first half. Saez makes both. He's up to 4 points on the day. Here's Sunday John on the other end for Factory. We're going to try and hold the ball here. Tompkins coming up the other way, has his dribble poked away, picked up by Phil Harris, trying to convert some fast break points here, but first to let a play settle. The pass is poked away. Zeke Tompkins tried to bat it back in bounds, but unfortunately for the Factory, it stays with Salt Lake. Here's Youngblood, top of the key. Deng trying to set a screen, now breaks loose. Youngblood gets fouled on his way to the rim. He'll shoot two. Youngblood with 7 so far. And he converts both, so Miles Youngblood with 9 points. Here's Zeke Tompkins coming up for Factory. Clock under 10 seconds now. Ball kicked out for Sunday John. John with 5 seconds on the clock in the first half. Drives down the lane, puts up a shot off the glass, no good, and that'll run out the clock in the first half. 34-30, Salt Lake leads Factory to end the first half. Matchup of two powerhouses in the ACBL. We'll take a quick break during halftime. Back in a couple moments on the ACBL Network presented by Real Recruits. Back in the ACBL fourth game of the day, presented by Real Recruits. Salt Lake Rebels leading the Factory 34-30. Trey Sims with the ball right off the bat for the Rebels as we start the second half. Luke Bauer under the rim, his shot too strong. Another one from Colin Cooper also went over the rim, so Rebels unable to convert on their opening possession of the second half. Here's Williams to Gonzalez at the left wing. Kicked out for John. Now a corner three-point shot from Emmanuel Taban, can't convert. Salt Lake basketball as Trace Ross passes it in. Here's Miles Youngblood. Coming down the right side, his shot off the back of the backboard. Looks like it was tipped out, so it'll stay with Salt Lake. Youngblood gets it into Cooper. Cooper, a jump shot immediately, he converts. His first points of the game. Puts Salt Lake up by 6. Here's Demarion Williams. Over to Emmanuel Taban. Stolen by Miles Youngblood. His shot off the glass, no good. And the rebound picked up by Taban. Taban gets it up to Williams. Williams at the left wing. Heaves it into the corner. Taban, another three-point shot. Off the left side of the rim, no good. Given right back off to Taban, who puts it off the glass. So a nice job to rebound there after missing the first shot. Taban at 9 points now. A nice block attempt that time as well on the shot from Trace Ross. Here's Gonzalez. Jump shot in front of the free throw line. Gonzalez hits, and he's at 5 points. Ross gets it into Sims. Sims made 4 3-pointers in the first game for Salt Lake earlier today. Here's Youngblood, who also made that same amount. Here's a 3-point try from Sims off the left side of the rim. It's no good. Rebound still being fought for, and finally Colin Cooper picks it up, gets it out to Sims, and they say it went out of bounds on Salt Lake. Factory ball, they trail by 4. Xavier Olino, who hit 3 3-pointers in the 16-minute first half, checks in. Curtis Nichols checks out. Here's Demarion Williams, one of the star players of this team. Now off to John. Sunday John, back over to Williams. Williams drives the baseline, puts one off the glass. Seen some real grit from Demarion Williams this afternoon. There's Ross with a jump shot. He puts it through. Trace Ross now with 5. Now the 6'3" point guard from Ironwood. Gonzalez, that is. Gets it down to Emmanuel Taban. Taban in double figures now. Trace Ross trying to get a play settled for the Salt Lake Rebels. Off to the newly checked in Isaiah Adams. And now Luke Bauer travels again. That's the 3rd time he's been called for a travel in this game. Phil Harris checks into the game now. Trey Sims taken out of the game by Salt Lake Rebels head coach Everett Gray, who played for the UNLV Rebels from 1990 to 1993, hence where they get their name from. Here's Dominic Gonzalez over to Williams. Now to John. Nice entry pass to Taban. Kicks it out for Gonzalez. Drives the lane, finger roll right in front of the rim, goes, and it's 40-40. 12 minutes to go in this one. Pass blocked and retained by Phil Harris. Harris will try to settle a play now. Top of the key. To his left, finds Youngblood in the corner, drives, picks up his dribble. Here's Youngblood, back over to Ross. Long three-point shot, rainbows in for Trace Ross. He's got 8 on the afternoon now. Gonzalez, step back three-point shot, puts it through. Dominic Gonzalez in double figures now. He's up to 10. Here's Miles Youngblood driving the lane, stops, gives it off to Bauer. Bauer under the rim, a wide open layup, converts. Gave him 8 points. Long three-point shot from Emmanuel Taban, and he hits it. 14 points for Emmanuel Taban, who's averaging 14.5 per game in the Arizona Club Basketball League. So with 10.5 minutes left, he'll exceed that mark more than certainly. Here's Phil Harris. Foul called on the floor. Sunday John called for the foul. Zeke Tompkins checks into the game. And John removed. Chuol Deng and Lino Saez each check in for Salt Lake. Trace Ross is out, as is Luke Bauer. .40 left in the game, 46-45, Factory leads. Here's Youngblood, trying to shake his man and try to get a cutting Chuol Deng. The first a foul is called on Emmanuel Taban. Taban, the leading scorer in this game with 14 points. Top 100 player in the country. Phil Harris three-point shot, rattles out, no good. Rebounded by Taban, here he comes up the other way. Stops near midcourt, gives it off to Williams. Williams in the corner. Zeke Tompkins a long two-point shot, too strong. And it'll stay with Factory. Emmanuel Taban offers on the table from Nevada and even Texas Tech, who's going to play in the national championship, coming out of the Final Four with a big win yesterday. And here is Taban getting fouled on his way to the rim. Almost got the shot to fall. He led to the line for 2. First one good from Taban, give him 15 on the day. Factory have not led this game by more than 2. So that free throw there gives them their biggest lead of the game. 48-45, a 3-point lead. Harris on the other end picks up his dribble. Dang, a three-point shot off the backboard, no good. Rebounded by Lino. Here's Williams. DeMarion Williams kicks it out for Tompkins, or Lino that is, with a three-point shot. Xavier Lino with his 4th made three-pointer in this game. That's been all the field goals that he's made. Here's Harris to Youngblood. Back over to Harris. Bounce pass to Youngblood. Nine and a half left in this one. Harris sent it down low. And Lino Saez couldn't get the finger roll to fall. So the Factory, now up by 7 points, get it up court to Dominic Gonzalez. Now Williams, top of the key, trying to shake Harris, behind the back dribble, on his way to the rim, couldn't get the floater to fall. Youngblood on the other end gets it out to Deng and gets one off the backboard. Deng with 7. Gonzalez at the right wing. Trying to shake his man, but it's poked away by Phil Harris. Sends it up court to Saez. Saez, nothing but clean air as he banks that one in to make it a 5-point game. And so Kenny Mullins, head coach for Factory, calls a timeout. He's also the league commissioner of the Arizona Club Basketball League. Three-point game as Factory leads 52-49 on the ACBL network presented by Real Recruits. (52-49), Factory leads the Salt Lake Rebels, who at one point when this game very first started had a 10-point lead. And ever since that point, Factory came storming back. They were down by 4 at halftime. And now halfway through this second half, they lead by 3, led by as much as 7 a couple moments ago. Here's Gonzalez for Factory, under the rim, trying to get a shot to fall. He got fouled, so he'll shoot 2. Emmanuel Taban leads the way for Factory with 16 points. Dominic Gonzalez with 10. Make it 11. Nope. 12 points for Dominic Gonzalez, the starting point guard for Factory. Here's Phil Harris. Puts up a 3-point shot, nothing but net for Harris. He's got 8 on the day now, including 2 3-pointers. Here's Zeke Tompkins, left side. Gives it off to Taban. 3-point shot off the very front of the rim. It's no good. Picked up by Nichols. Kicks it out for John. Now Gonzalez. Nichols at the top of the key. Nearly had his dribble poked away. Gets it out to Taban. Taban down low to Nichols now. Jump shot to the left of the rim, no good. Saez comes up with it. Now coming down the other way, Trey Sims handles a corner 3-point shot. And Emmanuel Taban got knocked down, so they call an offensive foul. And it'll be Factory basketball. Luke Bauer is going to check in for Salt Lake. And then Demarion Williams and Xavier Lino both are going to check in for Factory. Curtis Nichols and Dominic Gonzalez both leave the game for Factory. Here's Zeke Tompkins. Bounce pass to his right to Lino. Now a corner 3-point shot from Demarion Williams is no good. Pulled down by the Rebels. That's Trey Sims on the rebound. Now gets it up to Harris. Tightly guarded in the backcourt by Demarion Williams. And here's Mateus Minnick with a shot, no good. They call Emmanuel Taban on that foul there, so Minnick's going to shoot 2. Taban doesn't understand why. He's getting an explanation right now. And so Minnick makes the first free throw.
Gotta get going.
4 points now for Mateus Minnick. 54 all, 6 minutes, 37 seconds and counting in this one. DeMarion Williams kicks it out. Lino, three-point try is good. A heat check from Xavier Lino, and he hits 5 3-pointers in this one. Puts the Factory up by 3. Here's Phil Harris. Harris drives right, couldn't get anything working, so he gives it off to Saez. Saez drives in, and he's called for a travel. Lost the handles and tried to pick it back up. As Gonzalez checks back in, Emmanuel Taban will take a rest. Marion Williams coming on the near sideline. Right wing, tries to break loose through the right side, gets near the baseline before retreating. Finds a cutting Zeke Tompkins. They exchange a quick volley. And now driving in again is Williams. A finger roll on the left side, banked off the glass, put the Factory up by 5. Phil Harris knocked down from behind by Zeke Tompkins, so he's fouled. Fifth foul committed by Factory as Trace Ross checks into the game for Trey Sims. Minnick gets the inbounds pass. Guard will bring it up the court through the right side. Guarded by Gonzalez, drives the lane. Had his shot knocked down by Williams, and they call a jump ball. Williams to bring it up for the Factory. Williams has got 8 in this one. Sends it off to Sunday John. Heaves it across the court for Lino. Another heat check. That one no good. But he got fouled, so he'll head to the line for 3 points. Xavier Lino has 15 points in this one, coming off 5 3-pointers. Missed that one because he got fouled, so we'll have another chance for 3. Gets the first shoe to go. Chul Deng checks in, as well as Miles Youngblood. Lino Saez and Mateus Minnick removed from the game by head coach Everett Gray for Salt Lake. So Lino makes it 2 of 3. He's got 17 points to lead all scorers in this one now. Salt Lake Rebels trying to get something going. They trail by a game-high 7 points. Led by as much as 10. Got off to a blazing hot start before the Factory came storming back. Trace Ross gives it off to Youngblood. A long NBA range 3-pointer grazes the bottom of the net as Gonzalez comes up with it. Factory ball, clock below 5 minutes now. Gonzalez across the court. Williams driving in now, has it poked away, but picked up by Sunday John. Thinks about taking the 3, does take it, and it's off the front of the rim. Hesitated for a second there. John still looking for his first points. As Trace Ross puts one through on the other end. Again, it's a 5-point game. Trace Ross in double figures now. Here's DeMarion Williams. Spins to his left. Tompkins down the right side, passes it off to Sunday John. They volley back and forth. Here's Williams under the rim, spinning, and his shot's no good, just off the back of the rim. Couldn't convert. Here's Miles Youngblood. Got the rebound, driving it all the way. Coast to coast is Miles Youngblood, and he's in double digits now with 11. 3-point game. Zeke Tompkins with the ball for Factory. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. Tompkins drives, falls on the floor. Couldn't get the shot to fall, but he'll head to the line for 2. Each team has committed 5 fouls now. Foul called on Chuol Deng. Tompkins gets the first one to fall. Isaiah Adams checks in for Chuol Deng. Sunday John taken out of the game. Emmanuel Taban checks back in for the final 3.5 minutes. Long 3-point shot from Ross, can't go. Rebounded by Demarion Williams. Factory trying to put away the Rebels to stay undefeated so far this year. Factory's 4-0 entering today. Gonzalez on the right side. Nice entry pass for Xavier Lino. He's got 19 points now. Youngblood, top of the key, drives it in. Kicks it out, but they call him for a travel. Youngblood obviously doesn't think so. And so Salt Lake calls a timeout. 7-point game. Factory leads the Rebels. 2:45 left. We'll take a quick break on the ACBL network presented by Real Recruits. Seven-point game with 2:45 left on the ACBL network presented by Real Recruits. We're at Bourgade Catholic High School, where the Factory, 4-0 entering this game, are up by 7 with 2:40 left over 3-1 Salt Lake. Emmanuel Taban kicks it out for Xavier Lino. Thought about a 3. Gonzalez takes the 3. He converts. He's got 15. Gonzalez, one of the top juniors in the state, out of Ironwood High School. Factory has 3 players with 15 points or more. Gonzalez with 15, Lino with 19, and Taban with 16. Inbounds pass poked away and picked up by the Factory. So they retain it with just over 2 minutes left. Gonzalez crosses midcourt. On the far sideline, he's fouled with exactly 2 minutes on the clock. Factory with its biggest lead of the game and starting to run away a little bit. They're up by 10, 68-58. Here's Emmanuel Taban. His head coach, Kenny Mullins, compared him to Kevin Durant. Tall, lanky guard is Emmanuel Taban. 6'8" junior guard, one of the top in the country. Kicks it out for Lino, and he converts another 3-point shot. 6 3-pointers for Xavier Lino. He's got 22 points. Now here's Williams on the other end, making the layup. He's in double digits as well now with 10. Everything working for Factory in the late going of this one. Long shot from Trace Ross couldn't go, and now Kenny Mullins, the head coach for Factory, calls a timeout. His team up by 15 now, 73-58, with 1 minute and 11 seconds to go in this half. On the Arizona Club Basketball Network, presented by Real Recruits. Gonzalez gets it into John. This will be Salt Lake ball. Miles Youngblood trying to get something going for the Rebels. Lobs up a three-point chance, no good. It's pulled down by Latrell Swan for the Factory. Gonzalez sends it up for John. John in front of the rim, couldn't get the layup to go. Nichols gets it out to Gonzalez. Nichols again trying to go up and over. Couldn't get it to go. Miles Youngblood up the other way. Here's Trey Sims, three-point shot, able to convert. Sims with his first shot made of the game, coming with just over 20 seconds left. Sunday John gets it. 10 seconds left. And that is going to do it here between the Factory and the Salt Lake Rebels. 73-61, a statement win for the Factory. They were down by 10 in the early minutes, storming back to win 73-51 over the Salt Lake Rebels. Their second loss are now 3-2. And the Factory advanced to 5-0 as they remain undefeated behind strong work from Dominic Gonzalez, who had 15, Xavier Lino, who had 22, and Emmanuel Taban, who had 16. Demarion Williams also chimed in with 10. On the other end for Salt Lake, 24 points, or number 24, Miles Youngblood led the way with 11 points. So that's that game. Again, the Factory defeat the Salt Lake Rebels 73-51. Up next, we'll have coverage of the Factory 16-under team taking on Nevada Hard to Guard, who had a win earlier today. That game will start in just a few moments. You're watching this on the ACBL network presented by Real Recruits.